Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to The Outsider's Perspective. On today's episode of COVID Conversations, I would like to speak about the value of crisis. Yes, I know the words crisis and value are not words that we typically associate to one another, but today I would like to suggest to you that there is actually a lot of value in crisis. That crisis can have beneficial side effects. Me personally, I believe that there's always something beneficial in every setback, in every misfortune, and in every crisis. Sometimes it's nothing more than a simple lesson, like how to act or react differently in the future. Other times it's an opportunity to leverage a suboptimal situation for optimal gain, to make a bad situation good, or at least to make the best of it. Every time I go through something hard or challenging, something that I would call a negative situation, I always manage to extract something beneficial or valuable from it. And so I'd like to encourage you all to start looking at the challenges, the setbacks, and the crises in your lives as opportunities or potential opportunities. Now, with respect to crises in general, I believe that they have a beneficial power that is often overlooked. The power to transform and the power to reveal. Now today I would like to focus on the power of revelation that comes with crisis. And I would like to obviously filter this conversation through our ongoing crisis, the COVID-19 pandemic. As I've said in previous episodes, crisis has the power to reveal the truth about other people and about ourselves, about the different systems and models and frameworks that we've developed to manage our collective affairs, the political, economic, and social systems that are in place. I think COVID-19 has already revealed a tremendous amount about these things, and if we simply complain about the crisis or dwell on the negative aspects of it, we will miss out on all of these positive side effects. So what has the COVID-19 pandemic revealed about ourselves? I think ultimately it's revealing our true beliefs, values, and motives. Now, when I say our true beliefs, values, and motives, I have to stress the point here. When life is going smoothly, when everything is working out more or less according to plan, it's really easy to make public declarations about what we believe and what we stand for. But it's when shit hits the fan, when the crisis strikes, that we really find out the truth about ourselves. It's kind of like the old aphorism about no atheists in foxholes. The idea is that the prospect of death is enough to make even a staunch atheist start believing in a higher power, Faced with death, the atheist might be in the trenches thinking, maybe I was wrong about this whole God thing. Maybe now would be a good time to start praying. And so I would argue that the atheist in this situation always had the belief in a higher power within him, but it just needed the right trigger or the right crisis to expose it. I think ultimately COVID-19 is doing the same thing for all of us. More importantly, COVID-19 is revealing a great deal about our relationships to things both concrete and abstract. What I mean by relationship is the way we interact with, relate to, and react to various aspects of our lives. Our relationship to animals and the natural world, our relationship to money and work, our relationship to emotions and beliefs, our relationships to each other, and most importantly of all, to ourselves. COVID-19 has revealed to me anyway that our most important and fundamental relationships are also deeply dysfunctional. And in my personal opinion, it's these dysfunctional relationships that are the source of so many of the problems we face today, both as individuals and as a collective. Things like climate change, endless wars and terrorism, income inequality, the oppression of minority groups, and so on and so forth. I believe that all of these things are byproducts of dysfunctional relationships that we have. Now, we could spend the entire episode just talking about these different relationships and how they're inhumane and irrational and how they just don't work. But today I'm more interested in talking about the root of the dysfunction, the reason for these dysfunctional relationships. I've been thinking about this a lot in the last few months because I'm the kind of person who likes to map things out, connect dots, and look for solutions. And when I say solutions, I'm talking about solutions to the root causes of problems. Because if all you're doing is attacking the symptoms, you're not going to be very effective until you treat the underlying condition. So that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to contemplate and study and observe and figure out what's the underlying condition. What's the root cause of all of our dysfunctions? I think I've come to an answer, or at least a theory. Because as you know, I don't take anything so seriously that I believe in it 100%. I always leave the door of doubt open because I'm very fallible. I'm just a regular dum-dum and I don't pretend to know everything or anything for that matter. So anything that I say on this channel is a theory and this is no different. But theories are, useful. Even theories that are wrong. So I will share with you my theory right now about the source of our dysfunction. I believe that the root of it all is fear. I know it sounds simple and it sounds silly. And you might be thinking to yourself, the hell is he talking about? I'm not afraid of anything. Fear of what? Glad you asked. Fear of pain and suffering. Fear of lack, fear of change, fear of the unknown. Basically, we're afraid of everything. And the fear itself is not really the problem. I think the real issue is the fact that these are unresolved fears. They're fears that we have and that we don't address adequately or effectively. And so they live with us. Our hearts are full of fear. And we may not walk through our daily lives afraid of everything, but underneath the beliefs and the values and the motives, there is an undertone of fear. And it's because we haven't addressed our fears. We haven't embraced them and examined them closely. So that's my theory in a nutshell. Our dysfunctional relationships are caused by fear. And the fears that we have in our hearts, of course, bleed out into the world, and they taint and pollute everything that we do. Our every thought, our every action, our every endeavor is undermined by this persistent, chronic, unresolved fear that we have. The solution to fear, the remedy, if you will, the way to eradicate fear is through love. I firmly believe that. Fear and love are opposite ends of a single spectrum. And you could say that fear is the absence of love. I'm not talking about love for a specific person or object. I'm talking about spiritual love, mystical love, love without object, love of fate, love of the way things are, the way things are. This kind of radical love is what we need. And we need to fill our hearts with it. We need to love what we have. We need to love what we are, who we are. We need to love our current life situation, our circumstances. We need to embrace it fully. And that, my friends, is how we will start to dispel fear. Or at least we'll start to manage it intelligently. Because right now, fear is managing us unintelligently. It is causing us to do things that are dangerous, unethical, inhumane, cruel, and ultimately things that will lead to our own destruction. So there you go, my friends. That's the value of a crisis. It can open your eyes to things you never thought were real or possible. It can reveal the unseen. It can show you truths about yourself that you never knew existed. So again, embrace this crisis as an opportunity and try to fill your heart with love. Not for any one specific person or thing, a universal love, a love of what is and what you are. Believe that you are enough and that you have enough and that you have all the power within you necessary to make a real positive impact in the world right now. Believe it because it's true. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy day to listen to me rant and ramble for a little while. I hope I was able to give you some food for thought, and I hope that if you have any feedback or questions or comments, you will share them with me in the section below. Until next time, live well, my friends.